Today is December 19th, 2017 at 7 o'clock p.m. I'm going to call the Mosinee School District Regular Board of Education meeting to order. Roll call of directors, please.
Alice. Barnes.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Orman. Here. Kaiser.
Here.
Kramer. Here. Beal.
Yes.
Tomczyk.
No.
Zebro. Here. And student rep Carly. Here. All present but Alice.
Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are up to item number 4, approval of the agenda.
I would so move.
We have a motion by Kaiser, seconded by Lewis. Any further comment? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, approval of minutes. We have 4 sets from Special Board of Education October 24th, regular Board of Education meeting October 24th, regular Board of Education meeting November 21st, and Special Board of Education meeting November 27th.
I would so move to approve the minutes of 24th of October, 24th of October, November 21st, and November 27th.
Yes, I need to abstain from the vote on October 24th. I've not been here for that meeting. Is it possible we can split that into 2 separate motions? Okay, so your motion would be to approve the minutes for October 24th, both meetings on October 24th,
Well, I think just abstain from
the whole shebang.
no, that would be okay, from the 24th of October.
Correct.
Is the one. Okay, I'll approve, I'll make the motion for the 24th, and the 21st, and the 27th. That's exactly what I wanted to vote. Well, there's 2 24ths.
I need to abstain for both of those.
Well, both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you made the motion for the 24th first, and I were second, then we can move forward.
Okay.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve the both sets of minutes from October 24th. Is there a second? We have a motion on the floor by Kaiser and a second by Lewis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I've abstained. So now I would entertain a motion for approval of the regular Board of Education meeting and the Special Board of Education meeting minutes for November 21st and 27th.
I would so move for that.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor by Kaiser, a second by Gorman. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is the public forum. The public forum provides the public with the opportunity to ask questions about or address issues included in the school district school board meeting agenda. General operating rules of the public forum will be determined by the board president once the number of people wishing to speak is identified the night of the meeting. Prior to addressing the board, please clearly state your name and address. We currently have 6 individuals that wish to speak. There will be a time limit placed of 3 minutes per speaker. There will be a timer available for you to see. And our first speaker is Mrs. Bernadette Spink.
My name is Bernadette Spink. My maiden name was Knadler. My address is 1124 Kresge Street, right here in Mosinee. I graduated from Mosinee High in 1994, a 3-sport athlete, and remain to this day a very proud Mosinee Indian. I was a high school student the first time this issue was brought forth, and I strongly remember the opinions that it brought out on both sides. To this day, I feel that pride of our Mosinee Indian heritage was portrayed negatively at times, which I do not believe was fair. I lived out of state during the years this issue was revisited, this time making concessions to both sides, and in my opinion, in the process, leaving neither side with something to be truly proud of. I continue to see this issue through my own eyes. I was naive to how many tokens and symbols of our mascot were slowly being replaced. Today, I live right back in this town that I love, but over the course of the last few months, I've been truly educated on how very little remains of the mascot that I love to play for and to represent. While you can still find it on clothing or some of our last of our memorabilia, you would be hard-pressed to even find it represented in most of our conference school facilities. Today, I now see this issue through my child's eyes, and I have to acknowledge that it's very different than my own. All that is left of our mascot is a shell of what once was and has to be kept hidden away. Something appreciated in name only is not really appreciated anymore. I came here today to make 3 quick points. First, I'm asking for you to really listen to these students tonight, right here beside me. Their position is neither uneducated nor ignorant about our history, even though I feel at times that that has been the misconception. Their opposite is true. They have spent several hours gathering facts and working on their presentation for no other reward than a new mascot to call their own. Please give them a respectful audience. Their concerns are valid. They are not here to debate this issue once again. That was someone else's fight. They are asking to move forward after past decisions have left them with very little. Secondly, I strongly believe there can be common ground found. While I hope for a positive vote for these kids tonight, I would also love to see history honored. I think it would be great if we could have a special place of honor at a visual spot in our school for our Indian heritage, as well as a night dedicated to every sports season where the Mosinee Indians' old sweatshirts and t-shirts would be worn with pride. We can learn from them and they can learn from us. Finally, what I want for my child is to have the same passion for the mascot he represents as what motivated some of us to come out tonight. I actually do admire and sympathize with the arguments from the other side. Those were my arguments not long ago, but I'm hoping for my child that 30 years from now, he will come out on a Tuesday night in the middle of Christmas week and argue with the same energy and passion that some may be here for tonight. We can pretend that our students have that now, but they do not. Please give them something to be proud of and a chance to honor our history and begin their own. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Chris Banks and/or Ashley Allen.
My name is Chris Banks, 2147 Dory Lane, Mosinee. I just want to thank everybody for tonight. I didn't write a speech like Bernadette did, but I wanted to introduce myself. I've been in this city for many, many years. I graduated in 1994 with Bernadette. For the last 11 years, I ran the armory in this town as Ready Asensio, so I've seen a lot of students come through there, talked to a lot of students on the issue. I just want to let everybody know that the history of this town is very, very important to a lot of us. Now, I'm not saying that if we get a new mascot, it's going to wipe out the history, but we're coming to an age where an ideology comes about where everybody's offended by everything. Somebody probably couldn't walk out of this room tonight without being offended by something, and that's just the way things are going nowadays. I want to invite one of the soldiers that I served with, Ashley Allen, who's 80% Ojibwa tribe, and I wanted to let her speak on the issue real quick.
Hi, my name is Ashley Allen. I live up in Clemons, Wisconsin. That's about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes from here. I served here almost 7 years. Mosinee is my other home. So in the 7 years that I served here, not once did I feel like I was, how should I put it? There's nothing racist here at all. There's nothing. Once I seen that billboard, that logo, I felt pride. I looked at that logo and I did not see one thing negative about it. That reminded me, my soldiers, and everybody else here that were warriors. That headdress is a symbolism of nothing but positivity. There's nothing negative there. So, from my sergeant to let me know about this, I came down here right after work. I didn't hesitate. I came down here and just listened to everybody talking about it. I strongly discourage you guys to change the logo, because not only is it going to stop tradition of the younger youth to look at it and see that that's us. We're warriors from within. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, where you grew up. It's just how you were brought up in the school system and how you move on. That's all it is.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mrs. Amy Kirkland.
Hello, my name is Amy Kerntop, and I come to you as a Mosinee alumni, a parent of children in the district, and also a teacher here at the elementary school. And like the others before me, I do have great pride in being from Mosinee. I love my hometown, that's why I came back here and decided to raise my family here. My roots run very deep. I don't have to look up Ancestry.com because everybody in my family is here. It's not difficult to find the pride there. That being said, there's a lot of things that aren't the same as they were when I went to high school in the late 80s. For example, we don't have cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader, I was very proud to be one, and I still am. Just because that is not in our school doesn't mean that that takes away my pride. There's a lot of things except for the actual building at the high school that are not the same. I would urge the board to consider the issue that the students have brought up to in terms of changing the mascot. I think that it is time. I think we are a better community than marginalizing a whole group of people and turning them into a mascot. I just don't think that that's what we do anymore. I think we know better and we can do better. Many communities in our state and around the country have changed. My niece and nephew go to a school in Minnesota, Cottage Grove, Minnesota. They used to be the Indians, now they're the Wolf Pack. They were able to move on. They were able to still honor their past, but move forward and do something for the students. As a teacher, when I worked in Wausau, I taught at South Mountain Elementary School, and the kids loved wearing their South Mountain Cougar t-shirts. Young kids learn first through symbols. They don't learn to read words, they learn symbols first. Take any kid past a McDonald's restaurant and you will understand that. So young kids really can have pride in that. They can't have pride in a name. They can't have pride in something that we can't use. I just don't see the point in continuing forward when we really can't make use of that mascot. I say give the younger kids something to be proud of. This is about our students. It's about our district. And I think it would be best served to move forward and make a change. Again, it doesn't mean that we erase our history. It doesn't mean that we're not proud. It just means we move forward and we do what's best for kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Bernie Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Bernie Kramer, 2150 East State Highway 153. And I'm very proud of the excellent Mosinee School District culture. I've lived here for almost 50 years, moved over here from Stratford, and it's similar over there, but it's better over here. And I'm just so proud of the total, from Towner Reed all the way to Stratford and all the way between Wausau and even down to Dancy. It just, people get along and they help each other out. And it's just a good place to live. And I go back to, this was built over time. You don't build a culture in one day, a week, or a year. This has been built over the last 160 years or whatever. When they used the name of Chief Indian, Mr. Connor, and deserved that time. And here are all these years. And you know, I like on the front page here, they got M with the Indians in there. That's beautiful. That should be our stamp in all our communications. I think it's just beautiful. It just disappeared from all our stuff. I got stuff with it and without it. And without it, it's kind of, there's not much there. And then, you know, as far as it being responsible for any changes, I think the school board bears the responsibility. You can't shove it off on students and tell them they're responsible for the mascot. No, that's not true. Your responsibility is to take care of this. This is your job. It always has been. And if you're going to walk around that, and I'll put down here where the superintendent says that the results of the survey will be compiled, and the mascot selection will be by the most votes presented to the Board of Education for approval. And all you guys will do is put your stamp on it. Okay, we're good to go.
So, I mean, where are you guys coming from? There's no leadership there. I mean, how can you ever go to work and sit back and do nothing? Did any of you go to the meetings when these kids are putting this stuff together? Any of you? I don't think so, I'm guessing. But you should have. I'm not blaming these here students at all. I mean, they get it thrown in their lap and they do the best they can. But you make the decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mrs. Nora McCoy.
I'm Nora McCoy. I live at I-39 County Road S, and I am a 1997 graduate of Mosinee, proud Indian, as well as many people in my family. But I also have a son who is currently in the school, and he would be here amongst these boys, and girls, sorry. But he is on a student here. So I wanted to talk because what she said about putting on to the kids, my son is one that went to Mr. Lehman his freshman year about seeking getting a mascot because they only have an in, and they're the only school in the conference that does not have a mascot, and they just want something to be prideful in, like we were as a school. If they could choose to keep the Indian mascot, which is no longer something that they have the option to do, they would do that. But because they're not able to, because it is considered deemed offensive, they have put in a lot of time and a lot of research to find acceptable mascots that would make all of the kids proud to be, of their school. They just want the same pride that we have. And it is something that they did and brought to the school, and we have an in. We don't have a mascot, and I wish we had a mascot like when I was in school. As a parent who sits there for sports at every sporting season, I see these kids, they don't have the pride that we do, so I feel like, moving forward, we should allow them to have that pride where we have it. And unfortunately, the Indian is not an option. That's not an option. Right now, what we're discussing is, are we going to keep an N on the floor? The letter N. It's not an Indian, it's an N. And nobody's going to dress up like a block N. And we're at a time where we're going to be making changes in the school, so this is the time to have this discussion to see if we can't implement this. And when I was in school, we got a new school. In 1997, we had the Kresge Center. That school is different than when my mom went to school, but she still has pride in the school. It's different than when my grandparents went to school. So just because it would change doesn't mean that we're going to take away from the pride of Mosinee. It's just going to allow them to have even more pride than what every other student in other high schools get to have. So I hope you take that into consideration. This is something that the students have wanted to do, and they put a lot of work and dedication to trying to come up with a good solution. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes those individuals that signed up to speak at the public forum. We will move on to item number 7, special presentations. Item A is the 2017-2018 Teachers of the Year.
One more that was signed up.
I'm sorry?
I signed up on there also.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Please step forward. This is Mr. Bob Fox. I do.
Okay, my name is Robert Fox, or Bob Fox. I live at 1723 County Road, KK. I'm not here for the mascot issue. I'm here for something totally different, but equally as important, and maybe perhaps not more so important. It's been brought to my attention and that of several people in the community that there was an incident down at the Wisconsin Dells during one of the recent DECA gatherings, I guess you would say.
Sir, you're limited for your comments in public forum to those items appearing on our agenda.
Okay.
That item is not on our agenda at this point in time, so I'm going to have to stop your comments.
Or is there a way I could have this put on the agenda for another meeting or not?
Yeah, I would encourage you to do two things. One, pay attention to our agendas moving forward and have a conversation with Dr. Schultz, give her a call during the business day, and she will help walk you through what can and can't be on our agenda and when that might occur.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for your.
Thank you, sir.
Brent, can you give him my cell number?
Now I believe I've called on everyone, and we'll move to item number 7, special presentations. And item 8, 2017-18 Teachers of the Year.
Awesome. Well, this is an exciting opportunity tonight to be able to honor our Teachers of the Year. We're going to begin with our elementary Teacher of the Year, Maggie. Yes, you get to go over and give this to Maggie as I talk about her, okay? So Maggie is our Teacher of the Year at Mosinee Elementary School. Come on up, Maggie. Thank you for being here tonight. Maggie has been a special education teacher for 4 years. She is caring and patient, puts her students first. She is willing to help wherever she is needed and goes above and beyond to help her students be successful. Ms. Hall builds positive relationships with student staff as well as with the families that she serves and works with. You can often find her waiting with her students at the end of the day so that she can share with the parents how the students' day went. She always puts kids first. She's admired for her expertise, her dedication, and I would say just the knowledge of students that you have and the willingness to respond to their needs in the most caring and compassionate way. I know that your colleagues and I know that your administration absolutely respects the effort and all the kindness and compassion that you put forth each day. So, Mosinee Elementary Teacher of the Year. Thank you. So we're, Tessa made it, yes, awesome. Thank you. Tessa's a valuable Mosinee Middle School teacher with a huge heart and an amazing sense of humor. She's an extremely valuable member of the middle school team. Tessa puts extensive amount of time into creating, implementing, and revising lesson plans. And Tessa, our time is up right here. No, I'm just kidding. Her own love of music comes out in time. There's a little bells. You could have done a little like jingle bells, right, for us. Definitely a people person with a great rapport. If you're interested in getting in the spirit, right, they should be coming through the halls tomorrow, shouldn't they? All week? Yep, all week, doing the Christmas carols, and really that love of music and that passion for is really appreciated. So thank you very much, and congratulations as Mosinee Middle School Teacher of the Year. Our high school Teacher of the Year is Kelly Ballman. Kelly, here this evening is Kelly. Hi, there you are, Kelly, in the back. Kelly has really, I would say, a high school teacher building those strong relationships with students is paramount to Kelly's success at the high school. Not only her students, but her colleagues as well. You can feel that passion and pride that Kelly brings to the classroom each day in her social studies classroom. She believes in helping all of the kids get ready for that next step and that next leg and going off to college and being supportive to the kids as they're looking at what career path they're headed down. She's just an exceptional colleague. She's very admired by her peers and is very respected by her peers. So Kelly, thank you very much for all of your work and dedication and everything that you do for the students at Mosinee High School. Those are our Teachers of the Year. That's the ones that we celebrate.
That is outstanding. We will move on to special presentations. Item B, discussion and possible decision, changing the Mosinee School District mascot.
I'm going to invite our students up at this time, and they're going to share a presentation with you. Maybe, Mr. Langer, you're going to begin with introductions?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Before these students start, I just want to commend them for their hard work and their dedication on this project. The students on this committee spent over 3 months on this project while still being involved in extracurricular activities, having jobs, and still maintaining good grades at school. I want to commend the students on their process. When we sat down, we talked about how do we involve everybody. They decided we need to involve the students, we need to involve the staff, and we need to involve the community. And at this time, we're going to let the students talk about their PowerPoint and the hard work that they've spent on this project the last 3 months.
Hi, I'm Lauren Kaiser, and I am Mosinee High School Student Senate President. This is
Grayson. I'm a Student Senate working with her.
I'm Maggie Adelstadt. I'm the Student Senate Executive Treasurer, yes, thank you.
I'm Harley Bonnell. I am the Student Board Representative.
Okay. First off, I would like to thank you, Board, for approving the formation of this committee. Tonight, we will share with you the highlights from the presentations given to the students and staff at each school and a group of community members. Our goal in the formation of this committee is to come to a solution for the Mosinee High School and Mosinee School District mascot and logo that can be used openly to display school pride and school spirit.
So in the beginning of all this committee came up with a plan on how we're going to approach changing the school mascot. And these are some of the steps we took over the past couple of months, which eventually led us here and presenting to you guys.
I would like to share a brief history of Mosinee with you. Mosinee was founded as Little Boat Falls in the 1840s after the local falls and its loud roar. It was renamed after Chief Mosinee in the 1850s. In a close decision in 2006, the school board decided to keep the Indian text and continue to do away with the Indian mascot that illustrates the headdress. As the years went on, the school slowly adopted the purple M in place of a mascot, with and without the Indian text.
Why do we want a mascot? Throughout our 12 years here at Mosinee, we have experienced vocalized discomfort over the recurring mascot controversy. As students and residents of Mosinee, we acknowledge and appreciate the pride and history behind our mascot. This committee wholeheartedly believes a new mascot could rekindle the energy and spirit within our school, as well as being the best move for a more harmonious community.
So with everything, there's going to be some positives and negatives. We realize that there are a few positives to keeping the Indian name. For one, the people that wanted to keep the Indian name will be happy. And there are 3 places in the high school that still bear the name Indians. Those would not need to be changed, but they're going to eventually need to be changed when replacements are needed.
The negatives to continuing to phase out the Indian mascot but keeping the Indian name in the black M are that we are not able to place the Indian headdress on any school apparel, school uniforms, or on a new gym floor that we are getting in May. We have had multiple kids approach administration and ask to dress up as a mascot, and we unfortunately have had to turn them down for obvious reasons. 33 Wisconsin high schools since the 80s have moved away from using cultures as their logos, and a few other schools have done the same on Marquette University and North Dakota University. Positives to changing the mascot parallel the last slide. We, as a school, will be able to brand our uniforms, our apparel, and the new gym floor that we are getting made with our new mascot. It will open up the opportunities for students to dress as our mascot and give our students a name and figure to cheer for. I don't know how many of you have been to a Badger game, but I know when Bucky comes out, kids go crazy, fans go crazy. It just literally amplifies the stadium by probably 10 times. And I know even in 7th grade, I think it was, my friend Ava, she dressed up in a turkey uniform, something not even related to the Mosinee, and she ran around our gym floor. And that, everyone was screaming and cheering, and we just felt immediately lifted. We wanted to be a part of it. But I think overall, the biggest reason we as a committee are doing this is to bring a sense of school pride to our school. That, as many have pointed out, is currently lacking.
So here are some examples that could possibly be used as our new school mascot. Both the Mosinee Mavericks and Mosinee Pride could show school spirit and school pride openly, which was our main goal at the beginning of changing the mascot. These examples also reflect Mosinee's history, like Little Bow Falls and Mosinee Pride.
Let's switch gears to the survey process. We reached over 1,400 members of our student body, staff, and community of Mosinee. The students and staff surveys were conducted during an assembly, and the community survey was broadcasted via social media and the school district website. The survey included questions regarding whether to keep our current Block M logo with the Indian text or change to a new mascot, and if so, any recommendations that they had. Moving on to the data by demographic category. 86% of the staff employed at Mosinee School District are in favor of changing our mascot. Regarding the community, 60% of those responding are in favor of changing our mascot. And overwhelmingly, almost 9 out of 10 students at our school desire a change in mascot. Putting all the demographic categories together, almost 83% of those responding to the survey have shown support in changing our mascot. That is more than 8 out of 10 people in our schools and community.
If we were to be approved by tonight, our next steps would be from our compiled polls. All students and community would be able to vote from the top 8 mascots. We would then present the chosen mascot to this board next month, then conduct a logo design competition, and if you deem it necessary, then present again in February with the final logo. We want to thank the Board of Education for hearing this conversation once again, and hopefully for the last time. Our data strongly reflects a school in need of a change. We ask you to represent this overwhelming 83%. Our committee recognizes the gravity and tension of this conversation. There are people who dissent with our goal, as you have heard tonight, as well as on social media. This handful of loud voices does not adequately represent the will of our community. Change has never been easy. This has been one of the most challenging tasks that we students have undertaken. Yet we believe this decision will benefit the progression of Mosinee and the classes to come. Thank you.
I want to recognize all the hard work that I know you guys have put in on this project, and I hope it's been a learning experience for you, and I commend you for that work, so thank you.